Managing your online presence. This is something where I find that older people, people more mature in the job market, actually have a greater need to do this and a greater reluctance around doing this. So why is there a greater need? You've lived a longer life, you've done more things, there's more of you online. First thing you need to do is take a look at your online presence that's outside your control. How do you do that? Google yourself. If you've never done it, it's sort of simultaneously horrifying and fun and a little weird, but it's really important. And Google your name as you present it to people in the job search. Now, I have a fairly unusual name, Joanna Hoffschneider, and I have a fairly substantial digital footprint. So when you Google me, I come up. There's a whole bunch of Hoffschneiders in Iowa and Nebraska and so on, all of whom are related to my in-laws' family, probably. But there's also this strong digital footprint for someone called Joanna Hoffschneider in Washington doing versions of what I do. So it's a reasonable guess in a job search that they're going to presume, oh, that's me. If you Google yourself and a whole bunch of stuff comes up that isn't you and perhaps is negative, you need to be aware of that. If you Google yourself and a whole bunch of stuff comes up that is you and is negative, you really need to know that. So understand what's out there and be familiar. Then think about what's out there that is within your control. We have these conversations with our children. We have these conversations with college students. We do not have these conversations with ourselves as adults. What are you putting on your social media? What is showing up out there? And again, I'm not asking you to censor yourself. I'm not asking you to impersonate anyone else. I'm asking you to think about the job search. So if what comes up is overtly political or partisan, consider the impact that that may have on your job search. If what comes up is sloppy or, I see the question in the chat, Kirk, I'll come to that in a second, or badly written or badly punctuated, or just makes you seem a little off the wall, be aware that those things can factor into the overall profile in a job search. And even more importantly, in that pre-job search, where people are making the decision to give you an introduction, to put your name forward, to give a referral. There's a lot that happens before you're in any applicant tracking system, before you're in any EEOE process that can contribute to your job success or not. Facebook posts limited to friends do not show to prospective employers unless there is an overlap there with your friends. Not being facetious, Washington's one of those big small towns where you never know. But also think about if you are putting a whole bunch of stuff out there that you don't want people to see, maybe why are you doing that right now? I don't mean you, I mean one. Because that's a lot of energy to be putting out, having to manage perception in that way. If you don't have a digital footprint, think about getting one. Think about publishing a couple of articles. Think about putting a very, very simple holding post up there. And if there's bad stuff, make sure you can clearly explain it. We are grown-ups with full lives. There may be some landmines. I have a friend who has an arrest record, and that comes up when you Google him. He needs to be able to explain it if it comes up. There are lots of contexts in which it shouldn't even come up, but just knowing that it's there. So being able to tell a clear, concise, professional story is super important. So a holding post being something like a Medium page that you put up a simple article or blog post on. If you do not want to engage on LinkedIn, and I think that would be a wrong choice, but we can get into that in a couple of slides, at least have a clear, clean, simple profile on LinkedIn that is a place that says, yes, I am here, I am a professional. Depending on what field you're in, there are ways to have a bio. You may want to simply put up a very, very clean, clear homepage to host your resume or things like that online. Something that is just creating a clean, simple, low impact digital footprint. It's very easy these days. There's a lot of free ways to do it.
Speaking of branding and
Yes.
like an overall brand, you mentioned that you liked my background. I was just wondering if I should use that background as the header photos on, say, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., just for the continuity.
So you certainly could. One of the things I really like on LinkedIn is you can make a LinkedIn banner, and I use my contact information as my banner. In the before times, I had a great photo of me giving a presentation to a huge room of people. That's reasonably compelling. It does not feel relevant right now. One hopes it will feel relevant again. And a picture of me standing in my spare room, talking to a computer, is not a compelling image in the same way. So I changed that banner out because I want people to be able to easily contact me. So it's my company colors, it's a tagline, and it's my contact information. Depending what you do, I would suggest that using that specific image may or may not be relevant, but having a consistency of images can be a really great thing.